Before we start, if you enjoy this story, and you'd like to hear more slow-burn romance like it, please like the video and subscribe. Your support helps this channel grow. Now, let's begin.
Chapter 1. The restaurant was too expensive for someone like me. I knew it the moment I stepped inside. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, the kind of place where the waiters wore better suits than anyone I'd ever dated. Conversations were low and polished. Money whispered here. It didn't need to shout. The hostess glanced at my worn jeans and faded jacket, her smile flickering. "I'm meeting someone," I said quickly. "Damien Cross." Her expression shifted instantly. "Of course. Right this way, miss. Riley Roberts." She led me past linen-draped tables and half-finished bottles of wine to a secluded booth at the back. He was already there. Damien Cross looked up from his phone, and suddenly the stares made sense. Dark hair. Sharp jaw. Eyes like smoke. Cool. Unreadable. He stood as I approached, tall and perfectly put together, the kind of man who didn't need to announce his power. It clung to him anyway. "Miss Roberts," he said. "Thank you for coming." His handshake was brief. Professional. No warmth wasted. I slid into the booth opposite him, my heart thudding. I'd left Maya with my neighbor, promising I'd be back in an hour. The eviction notice was still sitting on my kitchen counter. 5 days. 5 days to make sure my daughter had a roof over her head. "I'll get straight to the point," Damien said. "I need a girlfriend." I blinked. "Excuse me. And a child," he continued calmly. "Preferably under 2 years old." I slid down my spine. "You have a daughter," he added. 8 months. "How do you know that?" "I had you researched." His gaze never wavered. Riley Roberts. 26. Former waitress at Marco's until it closed 3 days ago. No family in the city. No partner. Facing eviction. Anger flared hot and sharp in my chest. This is insane. This is business. A waiter appeared with water. Damien dismissed him without looking. "I'm acquiring Hartwell Industries," he said. "The board is deciding between my offer and one from Marcus Brennan. Brennan is married. 3 children. He's positioned himself as the family man, the safe choice." "And you're not." His mouth curved slightly. Not quite a smile. "I don't believe in marriage. Or love. But I do believe in winning." I crossed my arms. What does this have to do with me? The board wants stability. Legacy. Someone who understands family. His eyes flicked briefly to my hands, then back to my face. "You make me look human." I stared at him. "You want me to pretend to be your girlfriend. I want you to pretend we've been together for 2 years. That I kept my private life quiet to protect you and our daughter from scrutiny. That I'm ready to go public now because I'm serious about the future. That's fraud. That's strategy. And what do I get?" He named a figure. My breath left my body. It was more money than I'd make in 5 years. Maybe more. "That's for 6 months, Damien said. "You'll move into my penthouse. We'll attend events together. Nothing excessive. Your daughter will be cared for. I'll hire a nanny. She'll have everything she needs. She's not a prop." "No," his voice was steady. "She's leverage." I wanted to throw my water in his face. Instead, I swallowed hard. Anger didn't pay rent. "Why me?" "You're believable," he said simply. "A young mother. Working class. No scandals. You make a ruthless CEO seem grounded." His gaze sharpened. "And you're desperate enough to say yes." "I'm not desperate." "You're 5 days from homelessness." "Screw you." "Is that a no?" I should have walked out. Should have told him to choke on his money and his arrogance. Instead, I saw Maya's face. The way she laughed when I kissed her cheeks. The empty formula tin under the sink. "What are the terms?" I asked. Damien slid a folder across the table. 6 months. You'll attend events as needed. You'll live in my penthouse, but you'll have your own room. He paused. In public, we're devoted. In private, we're strangers. Strangers who live together. Strangers with an arrangement. I skimmed the contract. Clean. Precise. Brutally clear. One rule, Damien said. No physical contact in private. No kissing. No touching. Nothing that turns this into something real. Why? Because I don't do complications. His eyes held mine. And feelings are the most expensive ones. If I do this, I said slowly, I need the first payment up front. Tonight. Done. And Maya comes first. Always. If this arrangement ever puts her at risk, it won't. If it does, I walk. Something shifted in his expression. Respect, maybe. Agreed. I picked up the pen. My hand shook as I signed. Damien signed beneath my name, sharp and decisive. Welcome to the relationship, Miss Roberts, he said, standing. My driver will collect you tomorrow at 9. Pack everything you need. That's it. That's it. He paused. Remember the rule, Riley. No touching in private. This only works if we keep our distance. I watched him walk away, every eye in the restaurant following him. I just sold 6 months of my life to a ruthless man. I wasn't sure I'd survive it. Chapter 2. The penthouse took up the entire top floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows. Marble everywhere. A kitchen bigger than my entire flat. This way, Miss Roberts. The driver, Marcus, carried Maya's car seat like it weighed nothing. 2 garbage bags dangled from his other hand. Everything I owned fit in 2 garbage bags. Riley, I said. Just Riley. He nodded. Expression unreadable. Maya started fussing. The nursery is prepared. A woman appeared from somewhere down the corridor. 50s. Kind eyes. Calm smile. I'm Helen, she said. Mr. Carver hired me to help with Maya. I don't need. You do. Damien's voice cut through the room. He stood by the windows, city light framing him like something out of a magazine. Jacket still on. Control intact. You'll have obligations now, he continued. Events. Meetings. Helen is the best. I don't leave my daughter with strangers. Then get to know her. He turned, finally looking at me. Helen raised 3 children. She has a master's in early childhood development. Background checked. Vetted. References from 2 senators and a Supreme Court justice. Helen smiled gently. I'm also very good at making bottles at 3 a.m. And I never judge a mother for needing help. Maya's cries escalated. May I? Helen asked, arms open. I hesitated. Then handed her over. Maya settled in less than 30 seconds. My throat tightened. Show me the nursery, I said. It was perfect. Almost painfully so. White crib. Rocking chair. Soft lighting. Shelves lined with books and toys. All brand new. A changing table stocked with everything I could never afford. More than I could have given her in a lifetime of waitressing. Your room is next door, Helen said. My room was bigger than my old flat. King-size bed, ensuite bathroom with a tub big enough to drown in. A walk-in closet that echoed when I stepped inside. There were clothes already hanging. All in my size. I opened a drawer. Designer labels. Things I'd only seen behind glass. He thinks of everything. I'm thorough. Damien stood in the doorway. Jacket gone. Sleeves rolled up. I noticed his forearms before I meant to. Strong veined, dusted with dark hair. You shouldn't sneak up on people. It's my home. It's our home, I said. For 6 months. I walked back to the nursery and found Helen still with Maya. I'll let you settle in, Helen said, laying Maya in the crib. I'm in the guest suite down the hall. Call if you need anything. She left. I stood there, watching my daughter sleep, trying to slow my breathing. This was real. I'd actually done this. She's beautiful. I spun. He was in the doorway again. You don't have to say that, I said. We are your props, his jaw tightened. The master suite is at the other end. It's out of bounds. No problem. Good. We stared at each other. The air felt charged. Unsettled. Your room has everything you need, he asked. It's excessive. It's appropriate. He stepped into the nursery. Closer. The Hartwells will visit next week. Everything needs to look right. Feel right. I know how to play pretend. Do you? His gaze dropped, briefly, deliberately, to my mouth. Because this isn't a game, Riley. One mistake and we both lose. I don't lose. I signed your contract. I'll hold up my end. Will you? His voice lowered. Even when it gets difficult? My pulse kicked. What does that mean? It means we'll be seen together. A lot. He moved closer. I'll need to touch you. Hold your hand. Put my arm around you. My breath caught. Kiss you. In public, I said quickly. In public, he agreed. Can you handle it? He was close enough now that I could smell him. Dark. Expensive. Controlled. Close enough to touch. My heart raced. You should rest, he said at last. Tomorrow starts early. We have a charity gala. Tomorrow. The Hartwells will be there. It's the perfect debut. He stepped back. Away. Wear the black dress. I don't take orders. You do now. His smile was sharp. That's what you signed up for. He left. I stood alone in the nursery, heart racing, hands shaking. 6 months. I could survive 6 months. Even if every instinct screamed that Damien Carver was the most dangerous man I'd ever met. Chapter 3. The dress cost more than a year's rent. Black silk. Barely there where it mattered. A neckline that made my pulse trip and a slit that felt downright illegal. Helen helped me with my hair and makeup. I slipped me into heels sharp enough to be weapons. You look beautiful, she said. I barely recognized myself. But I looked like someone who belonged in Damien's world. The lie was already working. Ready. Damien stood in the doorway in a black tux, bow tie neat, hair swept back. Every inch of him looked controlled. Dangerous. His eyes traveled slowly. Down. Then. Back up. Something hot flickered behind his eyes. You'll do. High praise. Don't let it go to your head. A pause. The car's waiting. He didn't offer his arm. Not yet. We were still in private. The rule held. The gala was at the Metropolitan Museum. Red carpet. Cameras. Flashing lights. People dressed like money wasn't real. Smile, Damien murmured as the door opened. You're madly in love with me. I know my job, I hissed good. His hand settled at my lower back. Warm, possessive, unmissable. The cameras exploded. His touch stayed exactly where it was. Inside, the museum glittered. Crystal chandeliers. Ice sculptures. Champagne flowing like water. Everyone stared. Damien. A woman in red stepped into our path, diamonds at her throat, smile sharp enough to cut. I didn't realize you were bringing someone. Margaret. Damien pulled me closer. Effortless. This is Riley. My girlfriend. The word landed between us. Girlfriend, she repeated coolly. How long has this been going on? Long enough, Damien said. We kept it quiet. For Maya's sake. Maya. Our daughter. Smooth. Convincing. Riley prefers to keep her out of the spotlight. Margaret's gaze swept over me. Judged. Dismissed. How traditional, she said lightly. Congratulations. She drifted away. That wasn't so bad, Damien murmured. She hated me. She hates everyone. His thumb traced a small circle at my back, absent-minded. Intimate. 2 o'clock. Richard Hartwell. I followed his gaze. Silver hair. Kind eyes. His wife at his side. 2 adult children. The perfect family. And the other one? I asked. Marcus Brennan. 3 o'clock. Younger. Sharper. Wedding ring glinting. Pregnant wife on his arm. He looks ruthless, Damien finished. His hand slid to my waist. But he doesn't have what we have. What's that? A better story. He turned me fully toward him. Both hands firm at my waist. Dance with me. I don't. Follow my lead. He pulled me onto the floor. One hand at my waist. The other capturing mine. We moved together. His body was solid. Warm. Too close. You're tense, he murmured. I'm pretending to be in love with a stranger. Then pretend better. His hand dipped lower, Just enough. Everyone's watching. They were. Richard's looking, Damien said. Smile at me. I did. Good. Now laugh. Like I said something charming. Did you? I could. His lips curved. I could tell you how good you look in that dress. How every man in this room wants to be me right now. My breath caught. I could tell you that you're playing your part perfectly, he went on softly. That if this were real, I'd be the luckiest man alive. Damien. But it's not real. His eyes darkened. Is it? The music swelled. He spun me. Drew me back in. Closer than before. Richard's coming over, he said quietly. With Marcus. My heart slammed. When they get here, Damien continued, I'm going to kiss you. What? You heard me. His grip tightened. Sell it, Riley. Damien. Richard, came a warm voice. I didn't expect to see you here. Damien turned, arms still locked around me. Richard. Marcus. He smiled. Good to see you both. And who's this? Richard asked. Riley Roberts. Pride colored Damien's voice. The woman who changed my life. Marcus's gaze sharpened. I didn't know you were seeing anyone. I keep my private life private, Damien said. Then he looked at me. Something shifted. But Riley's worth showing off. And then he kissed me. Hard. Confident. His hand cupped my face, angling me exactly where he wanted. I froze. Then melted. My hands went to his chest. His shoulders. His mouth moved against mine like he meant it. It was for show. It had to be. But it didn't feel like pretending. When he pulled back, I couldn't breathe. Sorry, he murmured loudly. I can't help myself around her. Richard laughed. Young love. Marcus said nothing. Just watched. Business talk followed. Damien's hand never left my waist. I barely heard a word. All I could think about was his mouth. His taste. The way he'd kissed me like it mattered. Eventually, Damien said, I'm sorry, gentlemen, business will have to wait. I promised my girl a fun time. With a dazzling smile and a nod to both men, he pulled me back onto the dance floor. Marcus looks livid, I whispered into his ear. Damien's took me to the other end of the dance floor, then his hand dropped. Well done, he said, cool again. Controlled. That should do it. For show, I said. For show, he agreed. How could he be so cold, when his eyes were smoldering hot? In the car, we sat apart. Silent. The rule back in place. You did well tonight, he said. Thanks. Richard believed it. And you saw Marcus. Good. Silence. Riley. Don't. I stared out the window. It was an act. I know. He didn't argue. Back at the penthouse, I went straight to Maya's room. She was fast asleep. Seeing her grounded me. Strengthened my resolve. Finally in my bed. I relived the evening. My lips still tingled. My skin burned where he'd touched me. 6 months. I could survive 6 months. Even if that kiss had just made everything infinitely more complicated. Chapter 4. 3 days passed. 3 days of careful distance. 3 days of not touching. 3 days of hell. Even though Damien left early and came home late, his perfume lingered. When we were in the same room, he kept at least 6 feet between us. The rule was back in place. Except now I knew what his mouth tasted like. Now I knew how his hands felt on my waist. Now everything hurt differently. You're distracted, Helen said as I stared at nothing while Maya played on her mat. I'm fine. Helen didn't look convinced. That evening, Damien came home at 6. Early for him. I was on the floor with Maya, stacking blocks. She knocked them down and laughed like it was the funniest thing in the world. Hey, I said, not looking up. Hey. Silence. Maya grabbed a block and threw it. It hit Damien's shoe. She looked up at him. Grinned. Then lifted her arms. My heart stuttered. Damien stared at her like she was a problem he hadn't prepared for. You don't have to. He bent down and lifted her. Awkward. Careful. Maya didn't hesitate. She grabbed his tie and laughed. Something cracked open in my chest. She likes you, I said. She doesn't know me. Babies are good judges of character. He continued looking at Maya. She patted his face, babbling happily. His expression softened for just a second. Then it was gone. I should change, he said, handing her back. I'll be down for dinner. He left. I sat there holding Maya, my heart racing. That look. That moment. Something had shifted. Dinner was quiet. Helen had made pasta. Maya slept upstairs, the baby monitor glowing between us. Richard called, Damien said. He wants dinner. The four of us. When? Friday. Okay. Silence again. You're good with her, he said suddenly. With Maya? Yes. She's my daughter. Not all mothers are. Something dark edged his voice. Was yours? I asked softly. His jaw tightened. No, I'm sorry. Don't be. It taught me what not to want. Which is? He gestured vaguely around us. This. Family. Commitment. Love. You don't believe in love. I believe it's a transaction. Like everything else. That's sad. That's realistic. He stood and picked up his plate. I did the same. Our hands touched. We froze. The plate balanced between us, fingers overlapping. Riley. His voice was rough. We should clean up. Riley. I looked up. His eyes were dark, unreadable. We can't, I whispered. I know. Neither of us moved. It was just for show, I said. The kiss. All of it. Yes. The rule exists for a reason. Yes. His thumb brushed over my knuckles. I sucked in a breath. Damien, tell me to stop. I couldn't speak. His hand came up, cupping my face. His mouth crashed into mine. Not gentle, not careful. Hungry. The plate clattered onto the table as my hands fisted in his shirt. He backed me against the counter, his body hard against mine. Real. Hot. This wasn't for show. His hand slid into my hair, deepening the kiss. I made a sound I didn't recognize. He groaned against my mouth. Then reality slammed back. Stop, I gasped, pushing at his chest. Stop. He pulled away instantly, breathing hard. The rule, I said, shaking. You broke the rule. I know. This can't happen. I know. His eyes said he didn't care. This is a business arrangement, I said. 6 months. That's it. Is it? Yes. Then why are you still holding my shirt? I looked down. Let go. Stepped back. This was a mistake. Was it? Yes. I moved for the door. It can't happen again. Riley. It can't. I looked back at him. We both know what happens when lines blur. His eyes shuttered. I left before he could answer. I softly closed the door to myself in my room. It was not to keep him out, it was to stop myself going back out. My lips burned. My body ached. The rule was broken. 6 months were going to be torture. Chapter 5. He was gone when I woke. A single note waited on the counter. Dinner tonight. Richard Hartwell. 7 p.m. Wear the blue dress. No apology. No mention of the kitchen. Just instructions. I crumpled the note. Helen appeared with Maya. Mr. Carver said the car will be ready at 6:30. Of course he did. The day dragged. Every sound made me tense. Every footstep wasn't his. At 6, I put on the blue dress. It hugged every curve, dipped low enough to distract. I knew exactly what he was doing. Using me. Using the tension. Using whatever had started between us. Fine. He emerged from his room at 6:20 and stopped short when he saw me. His jaw tightened. Ready. His voice was rough. Always. The drive was silent. His hand rested on the seat between us. Close. Deliberate. Untouched. The restaurant was intimate, expensive, quiet. Richard Hawthorne stood as we approached. Silver hair. Kind eyes. His wife smiled warmly. Damien, Richard said. So good to see you. Damien's hand settled on my waist, pulling me close. Riley, he said. This is Richard and Patricia Hartwell. I smiled and leaned into him. His thumb traced a slow circle on my hip. My breath caught. We sat. His hand slid onto my thigh beneath the table. Tell us how you met, Patricia said. Coffee shop, Damien replied smoothly. She spilled her latte on my suit. I offered to pay for the cleaning, I added, covering his hand with mine. He asked me to dinner instead. Patricia beamed. How romantic. And you have a daughter? She asked. Maya, I said. 8 months. How long have you been together? Richard asked carefully. 2 years next month, I said, smiling at Damien. Damien's been wonderful with her. His hand tightened. Family is everything, Richard said. That's why this decision matters so much. I understand, Damien said. I'm not here for a quick profit. I want to build something that lasts. His eyes met mine. The lie didn't feel like one. To family, Richard said, raising his glass. And the future. We toasted. By dessert, Richard was convinced. I'll have my lawyers draw up the papers, he said. Hartwell Industries will be in good hands. Damien shook his hand. You won't regret this. In the car, the silence was different. Charged. His hand found mine. I didn't pull away. You were perfect, he said quietly. So were you. Riley. Don't. We need to talk about. No. We don't. But his thumb kept tracing circles in my palm. The penthouse was dark. Helen was gone. Maya slept upstairs. We stood too close in the foyer. Thank you, he said. For tonight. It's what you're paying me for. He moved closer. I didn't move. Tell me you didn't feel it, he said. Every time I touch you. It doesn't matter. It's the only thing that does. His hand cupped my face. I closed my eyes. We can't. We already did. His thumb brushed my lower lip. In the kitchen. That was a mistake. Was it? I met his gaze. Tell me to stop. I couldn't. I grabbed his tie and pulled him down. This kiss wasn't hesitant. It wasn't careful. His hands were everywhere. Mine matched them. We backed toward the wall. He pressed me against it, solid and hot. Your room or mine, he murmured. Closer. He lifted me. My legs wrapped around him. He carried me down the hall, kicked open a door. His bedroom. Dark. Vast. Irrelevant. We fell onto the bed. His hands found the zipper of my dress. Tell me to stop. Don't. Fabric slid away. Skin met skin. Weeks of restraint shattered. Riley. Don't talk. His mouth claimed mine again. Boundaries disappeared. The fake relationship stopped pretending. And somewhere quietly, I knew this changed everything. I didn't care. Not tonight. Tonight, I chose him. Tomorrow could deal with the consequences. Chapter 6. I woke up alone. The sheets beside me were cold. Late morning light filled the room, bright and unforgiving. My dress was folded neatly on the chair by the window. Not tossed. Not abandoned. Folded. My stomach dropped. I dressed quickly in one of his shirts and stepped into the hall carrying my dress. Damien was in the kitchen, already in a suit, tie perfectly knotted, coffee in hand. Controlled. Impeccable. As if last night hadn't happened at all. Morning, I said. Morning. He didn't look up from his phone. Damien, Richard called. The deal closes Friday. He finally met my eyes. 2 more days. That's great. Yes. The silence stretched. Are we going to talk about last night? He sighed, rubbing a hand over his face. What's there to talk about? I stared at him. Are you serious? Riley. His voice flattened. Professional. Last night was a lapse in judgment. The words hit like a slap. A lapse. We got caught up. The dinner. The wine. The performance. He lifted his coffee. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything, I echoed. The arrangement stands. 2 more days. Then you get your money and your life back. I barely recognized the man in front of me. You're unbelievable. I'm being realistic. We had an agreement. We crossed a line. My hands shook. So what was it? Just scratching an itch. It was physical. he said evenly. That's all. That's all? I told you from the beginning, he said. I don't do relationships. And yet you kissed me like you meant it. Silence. I actually thought. I stopped myself. Shook my head. Never mind. Thought what? It doesn't matter. Riley. Don't. He stood there, immovable. Untouched by the damage. The deal closes Friday, he said. I'll transfer the money immediately. How generous. I'm honoring the contract. I turned away. I need to check on Maya. Helen has her. She's my daughter. I walked toward the nursery. Riley. I stopped, my back to him. Last night. I shouldn't have let it happen. But you did. I know. And now you regret it. I turned. For a fraction of a second, something flickered in his eyes. Then it vanished. Yes, he said. I regret it. The words shouldn't have hurt. They did. Good to know, I said quietly. I'll stay out of your way until Friday. You don't have to. Yes. I do. I found Maya in the nursery with Helen and pulled her into my arms, breathing her in until my chest loosened. Everything all right, dear? Helen asked softly. Fine. She didn't believe me. 2 more days. 2 more days of smiling and pretending. Of letting him touch me in public and dismiss me in private. 2 more days with a man who could undo me with a kiss and call it nothing. At least Maya was real. At least she stayed. The door opened. Richard wants dinner tonight, Damien said. 7. Fine. Wear any dress you want. Fine. Riley. I said fine. He looked at Maya. Then at me. Then he left. Helen touched my arm gently. Men are fools. Yes, I said. Especially the ones who don't know what they have. I said nothing. Because somewhere between the rules and the lies and the way he'd held me like I mattered, I'd fallen for him. 2 more days. Then I'd take my money and walk away. Even if forgetting him took the rest of my life. Chapter 7. The 2 days crawled by. We barely spoke. Passed each other in hallways like strangers. He left early. Came home late. I spent my time with Maya and Helen, packing mentally, preparing to leave. The deal closed. Tonight. I picked a red dress that molded my body as if it was made for it. I looked at myself in the mirror. Perfect hair. Perfect makeup. Perfect lie. You look beautiful, Helen said from the doorway. I look expensive. That too. She smiled sadly. He's a fool. You said that already. Bears repeating. Damien was waiting in the living room. Black suit. Perfect as always. He looked at me. Something flickered in his eyes. Gone before I could name it. Ready. Let's get this over with. The restaurant was the same one where this had all started. Full circle. Richard and Patricia were already there. Champagne ordered. The happy couple. Richard stood, embraced us both. Tonight we celebrate. We sat. Damien's hand found mine under the table. Cold. Formal. Nothing like before. The papers are signed, Richard said. Carver Industries is officially the new owner. I can't tell you how relieved we are. Knowing our people will be taken care of. That was always the priority, Damien said. Because of you. Patricia looked at me. Family men understand what matters. I smiled. Nodded. Died a little inside. To new beginnings. Richard raised his glass. We toasted. Drank. Played our parts one last time. Damien's thumb traced my knuckles. Habit now. Or maybe torture. I pulled my hand away. Reached for my water instead. He stiffened beside me. The dinner lasted forever. Courses and conversation and congratulations. Finally, mercifully, it ended. We should do this again, Patricia said. Bring Maya next time. I'd love to meet her. Of course, I lied. In the car, silence. Damien stared out the window. It's done, he said finally. Yes. The money. I know. I got the notification. More silence. When will you leave? My throat tightened. Tomorrow morning. He nodded. Said nothing else. At the penthouse, I went straight to my room. Started packing for real. Maya's things first. Her clothes, her toys, the stuffed elephant Helen had bought her. Then mine. It didn't take long. I had no need for ball gowns. I'd arrived with almost nothing, leaving with only slightly more. And a broken heart. But that wasn't part of the deal. I was zipping the last bag when I heard it. Maya. Crying. I rushed to her room. Damien was there. Holding her. Rocking her gently. "Shoo," he murmured. "It's okay. I've got you." She quieted. Grabbed his shirt. Looked up at him with complete trust. My heart cracked. "I heard her crying," he said without looking at me. "You were packing." "Yes. She likes me." "Yes. She won't remember me." "Probably not." He finally looked up. His eyes were devastated. "And you? What about me? Will you remember?" I couldn't breathe. "I should take her. Riley. Give her to me." "Wait. Damien. Please." His voice broke. "Just wait." I froze. He stood. Still holding Maya. "I can't let you leave. The deal's done." I upheld my end. "This isn't about the deal." "Then what's it about?" He looked at Maya. At me. "I was wrong." "About what?" "Everything." He stepped closer. My heart hammered. "Damien, I told myself it was just physical. Just attraction. That I could let you walk away and go back to my life. And I was lying." His jaw clenched. "To you." "To myself. You said it was a mistake." I was terrified, and I chose control instead of honesty. Terrified of what? This. He gestured between us. Feeling this. Needing someone. Needing you. Tears burned my eyes. "You don't need anyone." "I didn't think I did." He shifted Maya to one arm. Reached for me with the other. "Then you showed up in that restaurant. Desperate and proud and so damn beautiful. And you looked at me like I was just a man. Not my money. Not my name. Just me. Damien. And then you moved in here with your daughter and your strength and your smile. And suddenly this place felt like a home. You felt like home." A tear escaped. "You can't just say these things." "Why not?" "Because you don't believe in them." I didn't. His hand cupped my face. "But you changed that. You changed me." "People don't change." I did. His thumb brushed my cheek. "I fell in love with you, Riley." Somewhere between the fake smiles and the scripted touches. I fell completely terrifyingly in love with you. I couldn't speak. Couldn't move. "And I know I hurt you," he continued. "I know I was a coward. But I'm asking you, begging you, don't leave. Stay. Not for money. Not for a deal. Stay because you want to. Because maybe possibly you feel this too. You're asking me to risk everything. I'm asking you to give me a chance." His voice roughened. "To give us a chance. A real one. What if you change your mind?" "I won't." "What if you wake up and regret this?" "Impossible." "Damien, I love you." He said it fiercely. Desperately. "I love you and I love her and I want this to be real. I want to be a family. Not for Richard. Not for anyone else. For us." Maya grabbed his face. Babbled something. He smiled. Kissed her forehead. Then looked at me. Waiting. Hoping. I should make him suffer. Make him work for it. But the look in his eyes. The way he held my daughter. The way my heart had already decided. "You're an idiot," I whispered. "I know. You hurt me. I know. I'm sorry. If you ever." "I won't." He pulled me closer. "I swear. Never again." "This is crazy." "Probably. We barely know each other. Then we'll learn." His forehead touched mine. "We have time." "Do we?" "All the time in the world." His lips brushed mine. "If you'll stay." I looked at Maya. At him. At the life I could have. The life I wanted. "Okay. Okay. I'll stay." I kissed him. Soft. Real. "We'll stay." He kissed me back. Deeper now. Maya squealed between us. We broke apart. Laughing. "We should put her to bed," I said. "Together. Together." We walked to her room. Put her in her crib. She yawned. Grabbed her elephant. Closed her eyes. Damien's arm wrapped around my waist. I meant it, he murmured. All of it. I know. I love you. I love you too. I turned in his arms. Even though you're impossible. Especially because I'm impossible. He kissed me again. No cameras. No audience. No deal. Just us. Real and messy and perfect. Stay with me tonight, he whispered against my lips. I'm not going anywhere. Promise. Promise. He lifted me. Carried me to his room. Our room now. And as he laid me down, as his hands found my skin, as we came together without rules or contracts or fear, I knew. This was what I'd been waiting for. Not a deal. Not a transaction. Just this. Him. Us. A family. Real and forever. And worth every risk.